April 1994, tragic events took place in Rwanda that forever changed Africa's history. President Clinton even said that was the biggest mistake of his career. I'm talking about the Rwanda genocide. Let's see why it happened and how it happened. Let's get into it. After the First World War, Belgium was granted the colony of Rwanda. In order to maintain colonial power, they decided to strengthen ethnic divides. They indulged in the pseudoscience of phrenology, which measured skin color, height, and nose length, and then issued ID cards for either Hutu or Tutsi. The Tutsis generally had the lighter skin, smaller noses, and taller height, and the Hutus were viewed as inferior and were required to work in the field. This naturally caused tensions amongst both ethnic groups. But when Rwanda gained its independence, the Hutus, who were the majority, were granted power. See, at this point, things flipped. The Belgians now took the Hutu side, being the majority in a democratic nation, and the Hutus didn't forget how they were treated during colonization. This led to something called the Tutsi purges, where Tutsis were exterminated and they had to run out of Rwanda to places like Uganda and Zaire. Exiled Tutsis in Uganda formed a militia known as the RPF. Their goal was to overthrow the Rwanda government so the exiled Tutsis could come back into the country. Fast forward to 1990, there was a civil war that lasted for 3 years between the RPF and the PFA, which was the Hutu-led government. While this war was happening, a certain faction of Hutus started to become super extreme. They are known as the Akazu. They started spreading hate rhetoric over the radio waves, as well as secretly ordering weapons for what was to come, but nobody knew what was to come. On April 6, 1994, hit the fan. President of Rwanda, Rwanda was murdered. His airplane was shut down, and him and the president of Burundi at the time lost their lives. The Akazus believed that it was the Tutsis that did this. They forced every Hutu to start harming Tutsis. This led to a 100-day extermination that took over 1 million lives in the process. Not only Tutsi, but also moderate Hutus who refused to do the bidding of the larger government. Now, this extermination ended when the RPF, led by Paul Kagame, was able to fight their way into Kigali and take control of Rwanda again. At that point, a lot of Hutus fled, fearing reprisal. During these atrocities, the French and Belgian militaries were in Rwanda. So the question is, why didn't they help? To know this, like, follow, and share this video. Thank you. My condolences to all families that lost a loved one in this event.